A very good evening to all of you. So, welcome to the fourth video of my channel, and I hope you all are doing fine. So, the topic which I chose today to talk about through this video is about identity, identity formation, and contra identification. So, the video is focused basically on contra identification as a process, and this process is more or less used within the sociological domain whenever we talk about marginalized communities. And this process of contra identification has not much talked about sociologists. Only a very small portion of contra identification you can get in Jagan Karade's book Occupational Mobility Among Scheduled Caste. I'm not aware of any other literature apart from that who has, you know, showed about this contra identification through his own empirical investigation of scheduled caste mobility. And after attaining mobility in educational and occupational spheres, do they get that respectable and honorable place in a society where they can self express themselves or where they can self identify themselves? So, contra identification is basically that process of identity or identification which is dealing with those groups which have a stigmatized social and cultural identity, but through the process of modern education and attaining modern education and then having opportunity at occupational and political level, they do attain that kind of a space in a mainstream. But when it comes down to their social identification, that stigma of caste identity and their traditional occupation, which is often constituted as a polluted occupation, has not been gone anywhere in a society. So in that process, for example, a scheduled caste who attain modern education, who is being a lecturer in University of Delhi or maybe any other university, who is politically aware, who is linguistically having a command on English language, who have all the material resources, but still cannot function as a priest in temples. Now, this is something which is because of his stigmatized past, he cannot attain that place in a temple. Another level can come into the picture whenever we talk about intercaste marriages. Most of the time, even after attaining modern education, occupational specialization, and even having that sort of a political capital, you won't attain that social capital as a scheduled caste or belonging to any marginalized group in Indian society so far, where caste endogamy and the notion of purity and pollution along with the notion of maintaining the honor often comes confronting along with your efficiency on one hand and with your hard work on other hand, and thirdly it do haunt at the level of your social identity, which is still been considered through your caste membership of a particular group. So all these kind of dilemmatic personalities which one individual belonging to marginalized community often have to engage in their own life is known as contra identification. This contra identification as a process, because I am dealing with identity and contra identification within the scheduled caste, and that is my forte. That is why I took an example of a scheduled caste community. But contra identification can happen at the level of gender, religion, national ethnicity, or any other class or caste group who often do not find that place after attaining educational and occupational mobility, which they think they might have attained due to their efficiency and potential. But their social identity and cultural identity often confronts with their mobility, where the stigma of their social identity haunts them in present life. Now, going into the detail of identity and identity formation as a process, and understanding identity as a process is something which is very constructed in nature for sociologists, and it is something very complex in nature to understand. Why it is complex in nature? Because we are not talking about identity in individualistic sense. We are talking about individualistic identity as well as collective identity, where the identity is operationalizing at two levels. And within these two levels, at individual and collective level, we often have multiple identities within one's life. We do have personal identity, we do have psychological identity, we do have social identity, we do have cultural identity, we do have national or religious identity, we do have caste or social identity, and we have a multiple identities which are, attain or which are given to us. So identities can be fluid in nature. And when I'm saying fluid in nature, I'm talking about that process of self identifying and self expressing oneself whenever we attain some sort of a mobility in our life. And identity can be concrete in nature when we are talking about caste identities, race identities, gendered identities, which are often, correlate themselves at that level where they are very concretized in nature, where their stigma often associate with them throughout our life. No matter wherever we go, the caste identities do haunt us. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar also says, before embracing Buddhism, he said that, anywhere an Indian can go, they cannot leave the caste. They will take the caste system wherever we go. And that is something which we see when we talk about caste in diaspora. So we can think that social identity and one's caste identity is something which is very stigmatized in nature as well as very concretized in nature. So, whenever as a sociologist we have to deal with the process of identity, and the process of identity formation, we do not only have to think about it as self reflexive in nature and dynamic in nature. Of course, identities are dynamic in nature. Of course, identities are self reflexive in nature. Of course, formation of identity is not only operationalizing at self level but also at the level of others. We do talk about individual and collective identities, and collective identities do formulate at the level of society, do formulate at the level of solidarity and unity, which is being operationalized at societal level. But within this process of self and other, within this process of formulating identity at societal as well as personal or individual level, we do need to understand the process of contra identification that adds on to the limits of the dynamism of any identity. Often when we talk about identity within the constructivist framework, because we as a sociologist often engage with social reality and social phenomena in a very constructivist sense, but whenever we deal with this constructivist sense, we also have to understand the kind of the limitations and the kind of the barriers this process of contra identification would act whenever we talk about identifying oneself. Of course, identifying oneself can be in form of mobilization, can be in form of a social movement. We can use a symbols which were earlier used as a polluted symbols and now have been used as a purity symbols by own community level. But even after doing such kind of mobilizations, there is a limit to identifying oneself at societal level. Most of the time, the identities which do hold importance at our personal level, they do not hold any significance at the level of society. Society do not recognize them. So all identities whichever are, formulating in that process of self reflexivity, self mirroring, even in the context of self and other, are not being recognized at the societal level. And when they do not recognize at the societal level, the kind of psychological barrier comes into one's mindset, where people often get depressed and isolated even after attaining that sort of a mobility, even after having that potential of gaining that sort of a place which they gain in a very respective manner, they won't get that respect. So that kind of contra identification do have a psychological impact on our mindset as well as on our progress and development in a society. And we as a sociologist often forget the contra identification as an important process, which often is dealing with the psychological makeup of any individual, but do hold real importance in our own studies whenever we are dealing with not only studies of marginalized communities but also of all the communities, because I am sure that the process of identification and identifying oneself often have limitations even for other communities across caste, class, religion, gender boundaries. So, as a sociologist, my urge through this video is again to opening up some of the impinging points which I do feel out of my research experience or out of the experience of my years within this particular concept of identity, what I do feel and where I do feel there is a gap in a literature where most of the studies have to be done on that level, where they do not only talk about the efficiency and the potential, but they also talk about that when this efficiency and potential is associated with any group, and when this group often engaged with not satisfying with the respect and honor and the recognition they are getting at the societal level, what impact these kind of contra identification process do have on their socio-economic life, as well as what kind of these contra identification process or processes would be dealt in a longer run. As a sociologist, maybe we can interdisciplinarily take some of the theories from psychology like Tejfel and Turner. They have given us identity theory in the very beginning, and they were psychologists. Just like that, we can also find some of the psychologists which are working in the line of psychological domain of understanding the process of contra identification and telling us about these kind of dilemmas and chaos which one individual might feel in their life. And we also might have acquainted all these things within our field confrontations, but we never get a chance of using these things as a kind of a variable which can be measured for a future researches. And this is where I liked about William F. White, Street Corner Society, where he's not going about that preconceived notion in a field where we have set all our objectives and all our variables, and whatever variable is coming into the field which can add on a new picture to our research, we often negate to include it because that will of course increase our work at PhD level. But still, I do believe that William F. White, Street Corner Society, and using that particular book in understanding this new variable of contra identification, which I often acquaint whenever I was on a field and whenever my respondents were particularly talking about this kind of dilemma where they are not getting that respect, honor, and recognition in a society which they might have got, can be dealt in a several manner. So my urge through this video is, please do come up with the comments, discussions, and debates of all such things which you often acquaint at your respective fields, which might not be felt as important while you were analyzing your data or interpreting your data, but still you feel the urge of putting it down in front of society as academic community. And we might as an academic community do work in collaboration on bringing these concepts on the dais and thinking towards that sociological perspective with interdisciplinarity of around other disciplines coming into the plane and working towards making this contra identification and other processes which are of due importance. So the videos are also an urge to bring that kind of a change and transformation in a field where not more often we need to engage ourselves into the classical theories. Even after engaging with the classical theories, there is a need of contemporary theories with new empirical investigation or empirical data being brought from the field and considering it at that theoretical level, where we often provide a lot of new concepts to our younger generations and our upcoming generations. So thank you. Please do subscribe to my channel. Please do discuss about certain things. Either you can do that in comment section or you can mail me. Thank you.